Welcome to the NALHFA Exhibitor orientation. My name is Corey Sunder, and I will be walking you through how to update your virtual company listing, network with attendees, and navigate our virtual platform, which we'll be referring to as Pathable. I'm joined today by my colleague, Michaela Bussey, who will be helping me in showcasing the platform and answering your questions. Throughout the presentation, you can submit questions in the chat box through Zoom. Michaela and I will be keeping an eye on that throughout our presentation. In addition, we'll also be taking questions at the end, but feel free to submit those as they come up throughout our discussion. We are recording the session and we'll be sharing out a link to access it for those who could not attend today, or if you'd like to refresh your memory on any information. Today, we are going to get started with walking you through how to find your company listing and customize your company page. Then we will show you how to network with your attendees throughout the conference and end with a high-level overview of the platform. You should have received your invitation to access the Pathable platform earlier today, so feel free to log in and follow along. If you did not receive this email, it likely means you have not yet registered for the conference. Registration is required to access the platform, so be sure that you register now to get that access. If you have any questions about your registration, please send us an email to registration@nalhfa.org. And with that, I'll turn it over to Michaela to walk you through how to find your booth.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining, and thanks, Corey. We're going to go ahead and jump right into things. And kicking it off, we're going to go over how to access or find your company listing page. There's two ways to do this. The first one is going to be to hover over your name in the top right-hand corner. Thanks, Corey. And then you would click Edit My Organization, so the second option. Or you can go ahead and go to the Sponsor Hub, which is on that navy blue banner. Either one of those, you'll get there. And then once you are there, you'll go ahead and select your company. We're going to go ahead and just preview the NALHFA booth for today. So this is what the company listing page will look like. Everything in it can be customized. And Jonathan and our team have been working to upload some of the elements that you see here, but you are able to go in and upload anything that you would like. So now we're going to kind of talk about how to go through and update those elements. So the first thing that you want to do is click the Manage button. Perfect. Thanks, Corey. And then under here, we're just going to go through the options that you have. So first, you'll see under the basics, this is where you can update or upload your logo, company description, tags, links such as your website or social media channels. And then also, if you scroll up again, Corey, you can also update your team members. The next tab we're going to go through. Oh, thanks, Corey. So that's how you would add a member, by clicking that plus sign and then searching their name. And then the next tab we're going to go through is the leads. So right now, just keep in mind, you're going to see zeros here because we don't have attendees on the platform quite yet. But once the show officially starts, you'll be able to come here and see leads. So these are people that come and visit your company listing page, and then they request more information. So you'll be able to track that there. Visits are similar, but it's attendees who stop by that do not request further information. So people that pop in, look around, and then leave, but you'll be able to track that both ways. And then the next tab, this is where you can get a more comprehensive look at reports. So in terms of how many people visit your booth, how many look at your content, all of these are downloadable, which is great resources to share. You can also track your conversations that you're having. It's a nice picture of what's going on with your stats of the booth. And then the next tab is going to be polls, which these are questions that you can actually preload. So once attendees come to look at your company page, you can have questions listed in terms of what services are you looking for, what products are you looking for, can really be anything you want. And then you can also see the results from these polls, which is really cool. And the next tab will be the content assets, and this is where you can upload and manage your videos and files. A few things to note here is videos can be uploaded by selecting that new video button, and then you can upload the video or copy and paste an external link, so either or. Just note that your total uploaded video cannot exceed 10 gigabytes in size, so that's listed there as a nice reminder. You can also order your videos once uploaded to the attendee. So the video will play in an actual carousel format. So it will continue. Once one ends, the next will start. And then if you want one video to be featured on your page, you would simply check the star, which these instructions are on here. But I want to call that out just in case you do have a welcome video that you want to feature. And uploading files will work that same way. You'll see here on the NALHFA booth, we have a few listed. Yep, right there. So the policy agreement and then the policy priorities. So you'll see those two uploaded there. And then the next tab will be Talk Now. So this is where we will discuss more of this in the presentation, but this will be your call log, so to call it, for your Talk Now appointments that you hopefully create and have. And then with that, Corey, do we have any questions so far on any of the company listing?
We do not so far, but I'll just note at the very top of this page here, when you're looking in the back end to manage, if you need to get back to what your booth looks like in the attendee facing side, you just click at the very top here, back to organization details. And this will take you back to your booth in the front facing version, which is what attendees will see. So this is where you'll see how it all looks. So you can see that the one file that we starred that we wanted to feature prominently on the main page of our booth is listed right here. Otherwise, all of your files and videos will be listed here on the Files tab. So you can see that we have 2 files that we've uploaded, but only one that we wanted to focus on in a prominent position there. So keep that in mind for any videos or files that you will be adding to your booth. But we will pause here to see if there's any questions. Okay, all right. Well, I don't think I see any questions coming through the chat. So we'll move on now to talking about this Talk Now feature that you see here that Michaela just referenced that you can find the stats for in the Manage button on the back end of your booth. So this Talk Now feature is going to be a great way for everybody to engage one-on-one with our attendees throughout the conference really, but even more specifically during our dedicated hours each morning. So you'll see on the agenda, and of course listed here in each of the booths, that from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time, we have dedicated non-conflicting time that will be called Coffee with Sponsors, and it's meant for our attendees to be encouraged to go to the sponsor hub, look through all of the booths, collateral, and talk directly with any of the booth staff for any of our companies that are participating in the conference. So how this will work is that any of our staff, all of our staff will be listed here, and each person at the very top right next to your name will have an available for Talk Now toggle. So something to note is that by default, you are turned off to be unavailable for Talk Now. If you want to make yourself available to be able to receive calls in real time from attendees, you just click this toggle here and it will turn orange. Now you'll see under the booth staff listing here, I have a green check mark next to my name. This is to note for any attendees that I am available to receive calls and they can talk to me now at any time. So you will see also under individuals' names during this Talk Now time, attendees can call an individual person. So if they specifically wanted to wait to talk to Allison, they could wait until she has a green check mark and click a link to talk to her directly. So I'm going to switch over here to an example to show you what it will look like in real time once our Talk Now is active, since right now you only see a countdown clock to our first session beginning on May 12th. So here you will see is an example on the left-hand side of what this will look like in real time. So starting at 9 a.m. on the 12th, attendees will see this button here that says Talk Now in your booth with a flashing live icon. And then noting again with that green check mark, which of the booth staff are available to receive calls. If an attendee clicks that Talk Now button, they will see a pop-up message here that says that they are calling the first available person in the booth. The way this will actually work is that it sort of ends up going round robin calling. So based on if there's, let's say, 3 people in your booth that are currently available, it'll just go down the line of calling each of those people to see who is actually available to pick up and speak to that individual. Now you as the staff person will also see a very similar pop-up message appearing here so that you can click to receive the call. If you are unavailable, let's say you're on another call during that time, your green check mark will go away. It'll say that you're busy. But again, just make sure that you're always toggled on in that top right corner when you are present and available to be receiving calls. If you do have a moment to speak to that person, you'll see instead of a hang up button, you'll see an option to receive the call. And then it'll bring you into this image that you see here, which is a live Zoom meeting. So you'll be able to turn your camera on, turn your microphone on, and engage in real time with that individual. There is no time limit to that conversation, so it can last as long as you need it to. There will also be an option on the side for you to take notes that are private only for you to see, so you can take notes throughout the conversation on what they're interested in. There will also be a chat box in there that you can speak directly to the attendees. So in case there is some kind of sound problem or you want to share your email address or any other information, you'll be able to do that in the chat there in real time. So we're really excited to offer this feature. I think it's going to be a great way for folks to connect with you. We are featuring it during these 2 hours every morning, but it will be available throughout the day. So during other scheduled breaks in the agenda, if you would like to make yourself available, you can always toggle yourself on in the top right corner, and that will be the signal for attendees to know that you are available to receive calls in real time. And then again, when you're in the Manage button here, if I click that, and I click the Talk Now tab here, this is where you'll see a record of all of your Talk Now calls. So if you want to remember who everyone on your team spoke with, refer back to the notes that you may have taken during that conversation, all of that will be logged here. So you'll be able to see not only calls that you received, but anybody else on your staff team as well. And that will all be able to be downloaded as well. So you can always reference that later on. Now, I know that this is a great tool to have in your booth, but we do also have another option if you would like to be a little more proactive with scheduling meetings with attendees or sending them a private message to try to connect. So we have kind of those 2 options available to you. One would be obviously through the booth if there's an attendee who's proactively looking to speak to you. But if you want to schedule your own meeting, we do have 2 different ways to do that. One of them is under this schedule tab at the top here. You see that there's an option underneath agenda and my agenda that is schedule meeting. So if I click that option, it's going to prompt me to start setting up a private meeting. This can include up to 32 people, but you can make it one-on-one, you can make it with a small group, whatever suits your needs. I just click the new member button here and I can search for recipients that I would like to meet with. So if I know already that I'd like to schedule a meeting with Michaela, I search for her name and I add recipients. And when I click continue, I'll be able to schedule a time that works for us to meet. So I can automatically see my calendar and her calendar and select some time slots that will be available for both of us to meet. Once this is scheduled on your calendars and you go to join that session, it will appear under your private agenda. So if you go to my agenda, you'll see that private meeting available there and you'll be able to join it just like a session, and we'll open a private Zoom meeting where again, you'll be able to have your camera on, your microphone on, chat directly with the individual and kind of go from there. So it's a very easy and straightforward tool. The other way to schedule a private meeting would be to use our People tab here. So if I click the attendees section here under People, I can search directly for any type of attendee I want. So let's say I'm not quite sure off the top of my head who I'd like to meet with. but I want to search for somebody based on their, ribbon of how they're identified, or perhaps they're adding some unique tags for specialty areas that I'd like to focus on. I can search for people who fit my description. And if I click on their profile here, on an example, you'll see two buttons here at the top. One is schedule a meeting, which will take you immediately to that same meeting scheduler that we just saw. Or you can send them a private message. So I can click send message and send them a message directly in the platform here. And lastly, just some final ways too to try to connect with other attendees. Under the conversations tab at the top here, you'll see there's two options. One here is inbox. So that is where you can track all of your messages that you're sending to people. So if you're sending private messages to several individuals, you can track all of your conversations here, or you can also start a new conversation if you know who you would like to send it to. There's also a social media wall. So once everyone starts developing more social content, we are encouraging everybody to participate on Twitter using our hashtag NALHFA21. And your tweets will all be featured here on our social media wall during the conference dates. So we also encourage you to keep that in mind and engage with our attendees using this social media platform as well. So with that, I will pause and see if there are any questions about networking, engaging with attendees, or anything else that we have covered so far.
We do have a question from Michelle. Thanks for submitting that. So just to confirm, the Talk Now / chat option is available only for registered participants, correct? The same goes for all of the features you're referencing today. And that is correct, Michelle. It will only be available for our attendees registered for the NALHFA virtual conference.
Yes, the only way that any individual will actually get access to this platform at all will be if they register. So that's why we wanted to mention at the top too, if you have some staff who are going to be assisting you with building out your booth and your company listing, they will still need to be registered to access this platform. But once they are registered and in here, there are no restrictions. So any attendee will be able to click on any booth and engage with you, or even sponsor to sponsor. If you wanted to touch base with another company, you'd even be able to do that. So everybody will have the same capabilities once they are in the platform. Pause and see if there's any other questions. Okay. All right, well then I guess, Michaela, I will turn it back to you to give a general overview of the platform, just so that everyone's familiar with kind of what attendees will see and what you will also see as company staff.
Perfect, thank you. So we're gonna start right here on the home page as Corey just selected. So this is gonna be the screen that greets everyone when they come into the platform. We do have our banner and a little blurb thanking our sponsors. This is a rotating banner, so as you see, Hawkins was just added, so it rotates. Once the conference begins, we'll have an updated leaderboard, which will show those gamification points, who's kind of in the lead. And then we have our keynote speakers, a little blurb about them at the bottom. So that's going to be the home screen there. And then we'll go over to schedule, Corey, if you don't mind. I know we already talked about scheduling a meeting, but so if you click the agenda, this is going to show us these sessions in date and time order. And it's also, I wanted to show you how to actually add sessions to your personal agenda. So if you scroll down and you see the plus sign, almost that teal plus sign, you'll go ahead and click that. And that will also now show on your agenda. So now if you go under schedule and you want to just see what you've reserved to attend, you would click my agenda, and those preferences will be saved there for you. Great. And then let's see here. If we go over to, there's also a way, this is really great, I think, a way that you can export this onto your own calendar, which is at the top under the export right there. So you can also get a copy of this on your Outlook calendar, for example. And then once you're in the session, you'll see we have that date and time, almost countdown clock, which is, nice to see. Once the meeting is live, that countdown will go away and it will say join meeting. And that's how attendees will know to enter, the session is started, almost to kind of go and get your virtual seat, if you want to call it that. And then scrolling down a little bit, so we have a chat, which is where we can ask questions. We can say joining from Maryland, anything like that. Corey's going to send a test right now. And then all the attendees that are in the session will be able to see the chat, almost kind of like the Zoom chat we're using now. It'll just be tied to that actual session. You can also reply to threads. So if you want to respond to a certain post or directly to someone, you can do that, which is as Corey's sampling or showing us right there. And then the next tab over is going to be polls. So we don't have any of them loaded right now, but this will be more so if the speaker has any questions and they want to preload, or maybe during the presentation, they want to get an age range of everyone or where everyone is located. Those will be in there and the speaker will refer back to those for you to click. And after you submit your answer, you'll get a summary of other people, what they select, which is a cool little preview of everyone else. And then the next tab over is going to be files. Lots of times, copy of the slides will be found on here or any type of resources like that, and they will be downloadable. So if you see anything you want, you'll be able to download it and refer back to it. And the next tab over is people. So kind of going back to when you add a session to your personal agenda, you will then be listed as attending or as a people person in this actual event. So that's how you can generate that. If you don't have something added to your agenda though, and then you decide to go, you can still do that. It's absolutely fine. Just if you add it to your calendar, then you'll show up under that section. So that's it for that portion. We're going to go ahead and move on to people. So you can search here from speakers or attendees. If you click on speakers, you'll see a little purple tag, and that's how you'll know that they're a speaker, so that light purple color. That way, if you want to follow up with anyone or have any further questions, anything like that, those individuals are identified with that ribbon. And then the other option under people is attendees, which this is a great reference to search someone. There's a lot of fields you can choose from: first, last name, companies, credentials, titles. The list goes on there. So very easy access to find someone and then be able to send a message or request an invite. You can also, in the left-hand corner, you are able to export a people list. So you can actually pull that and be able to have and see everyone, which looks like, there you go. So import is ready, and then you would go ahead and click through that and you'd be able to search that way as well. And then Sponsor Hub, which we've already discussed about, but that's one of the ways you can get to your booth and also see all the other sponsors. It's organized by level and then in alphabetical. So that's how you'll see them labeled there. Everyone kind of has their own little tags and ribbons. And you can also search right there where Corey was. So by name, by tags, or by type of sponsor. And the next tab is going to be our NALHFA rewards. So this is, I kind of mentioned it at the beginning, with the leaderboard on the main homepage. So this is our gamification feature with NALHFA. And as you can see under activities, you're rewarded a certain amount of points as an attendee. Once, for example, you use the Talk Now, you're awarded 100 points. If you view or watch a sponsored video, then you get the correlating amount of a points. And then it will also show and pull as a summary under that leaderboard, the second column there. So we can kind of see and track who's there. Kind of creates like healthy competition, and you're motivated to go in and participate and click around and send private messages. It's just a great way to also kind of feel like we're in person, even though we're not. And you'll also see the score history. So that will show your overall score history there. One thing to note here, because we all are sponsors on this call, sponsors are not eligible to win any of the prizes. This will be for attendees exclusive, but it's still fun to kind of go here and visit and see kind of what's going on. The next tab we'll go over to is conversations, which Corey kind of already spoke about with the social media and the inbox, so we'll skip over that. And then the last one is that help column, which will be our attendee FAQ, our sponsor FAQ, code of conduct, and then tech support within Pathable. So Corey, if you wouldn't mind clicking the sponsor FAQ, so you can see here, we have some frequently asked questions already written out between these three subjects. So registration, setting up your company virtual listing page, and then networking with attendees. So just another snapshot of some easy answers, but you can always reach out as well, and we'll be able to help with you with whatever you need. And then let me go back up. The most important thing I think you'll want, oh, yep, sorry, Corey, yep. So if you want to click the tech support key, this will also connect you with Pathable help. So if you're having troubles within the actual platform, maybe showing up or anything like that, this is a great way to kind of plug in a question, and then it will auto-generate the contact us form, so you can fill it out that way. And then other than the tabs, I did want to call attention to, now that you all have received your access emails, hopefully, or if not, you're going to register after this and receive it. I think the first and most important thing you want to do once you get access to the platform is circle around your name where that little upside down carrot top is, and you want to click edit profile. Thanks, Corey. So this is where you can update your headshot, your photo. Your email will already be in there, but if you want to change it, you absolutely could. Your title, your company, your phone number, could do a little description about me, and then also add some tags. So this is a great way that attendees can go in and see your profile. I would definitely recommend on updating this. Because we're not in person, it almost kind of acts like your badge if we were on site. So it's a great little preview of who you are, what you represent, which company you're with, and how they connect with you. And I will just do a little blurb. I know that's very high level on the main homepage of Pathable, but we will have an attendee specific webinar, and that's going to be May 3rd. So if you're more interested in the meat of all these different types of functions, you can definitely attend that. Like I said, it'll be May 3rd, and it's at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And with that, does anyone have any other questions from this page, from any of the sponsor hub, talk now features? We're happy to answer them and help. Feel free just to chat them, and we'll kind of give it a couple minutes. Corey, if you think of anything else that you want to demo, feel free.
Yeah, I was just going to, my last point was just going to be that when you hover over your name here, since you see edit my profile, and then that's also takes you directly to your company page for edit my organization, there is another option here that's system check. So I recommend doing this first thing each morning just to make sure that everything is running smoothly on your computer. So you can just click this button here to run checks, and it's going to automatically check to make sure your cookies are good, they're using the latest version of your browser. Check, making sure that you're good to go for the morning, for the rest of the day. And you can see it just took, 2 seconds for that to run. So it's a quick little check just to make sure you don't have any technical problems throughout the conference. But just in case you do, make sure under help, there's that tech support option, but also in any session, there's chat boxes. You can find any staff members under the people tab, send us a message, or reach out to us at info@nalhfa.org. We will be available at any time you need us to assist you with any questions. So that concludes the formal part of our presentation. So we'll just open it up now to any questions, comments, concerns, anything else we can demonstrate for you. Again, if you'd like to see another recap, anything else we can do to help you. All right, well, if there's no questions, Michaela, we can go ahead and end the recording, but we'll stick around for a couple minutes. If anybody does want to ask us questions, we'll hang out here. But otherwise, thank you all so much for coming, and thank you so much for your support of NALHFA. We are so grateful to have you participating in this conference. And we are here for any questions, anything else we can help you with, and we'll see you in May. Thank you.